welcome to the Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, episode 241. Wow.
Yeah, man.
I'm Dave Z.
241. I'm Christian. I love how I have to respect,
No, you're
always,
not.
I always have to reiterate the episode number after you say it. Like I'm shocked, but I am getting shocked,
It,
man. I mean, we're getting closer and closer.
it is shocking.
I get freaked out, but still, to get to episode 250, we're talking about September. Talking about mid-September is when we will be recording that episode. And am I loud enough for you, by the way? I didn't really check my
You're
levels.
plenty loud. Plenty loud.
Checko. So there's plenty of time to
Oh.
watch more slashers, which I've watched a chunk, not a chunk. I've watched a few from the last show to this show, as well as our feature review, which we're doing. I think we've decided that tonight's going to be The Strangers Chapter 1.
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk to Strangers Chapter 1. We have also both watched the other one too, no?
Yes. Yeah, we were going to talk about it last
Yes.
episode. It was an option to talk about, and then we said we might save it for this show. You'll Never Find Me.
You'll Never Find Me. We could talk about that. I only have 2 slashers. It was a busy time. I don't know. It's only been like a week between recordings, and I was just busy. I just didn't. I haven't just really watched much, but I've watched a couple things. So
Yeah.
whatever. I'll get into those 2 slashers and a couple other things. I started watching a popular movie from last year for another podcast, and then didn't finish it. But I still have something to say about it, which is going to be controversial. I know. And I watched another movie last Friday and had another takeaway from it, a different one than I had the first. Nothing major. So there's a little bit to talk about in that respect. Not a lot, though. Not a lot, but we'll do the best we can. Chainsaw Christian.
Yeah. Am I Chainsaw Christian? Oh, Christian. I thought
you
it was
didn't say
showing
it,
up there.
so.
Yeah.
No, because you said I'm Christian, and I said, well, wait, no, you're not. Remember, you declared yourself Chainsaw Christian now. But he's got so many freaking things going on, and so many different IDs now. Who even knows? Because now you're doing the pretty bad horror, pretty bad movie gab.
Yeah.
And now you're doing, this is what I'm going to put you on the spot, and I don't care. So for the sake of the show, I'm going to put you on the spot. So you stop doing the freaking show with Alex and your buddy Chris A.K. Scott, because you didn't have the time, and then you turned around and you're doing the exact same thing with video with Jason Smith. Explain yourself, sir.
I'll explain myself. So we had already talked about possibly doing that, which is what I knew was coming. So I didn't want to commit to Dead Man's Party because I knew this one was coming, but I didn't know when we were going to do it. Plus, Jason and I kind of said we were going to probably do it once a month. It's just on his feed. It's not going on an audio feed. It was going live, and there was no editing. There's nothing. I show up, we watch the movie, I show up, and we talk. I don't have to edit. I don't have to do anything. It's live. We do it live, that style. And I was even going to suggest that, did you want to make an audio version of it? I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? No way. So that's it. And it was supposed to be once a month. So he even make a joke on the last one that we did, which was yesterday, that, we don't even know how this happened. We did 2 weeks in a row, but this was supposed to be kind of a monthly thing. But that's the reason. So I was like jumping out. I was like, should I even talk Chris about this? And I'm like, you know what? He'll hear it and whatever. And I don't, their show is doing fine. They fell into a great groove. They've got, like I said, it's Alex, Chris, and the Ghoul, and they're doing great. Yeah. And so I listen to the show. I've listened to every episode, because I was like, I think except for the last one, but no, because Chris actually sent it to me early. So I even listened to the Bloodsport episode last week. So that's all good. And I don't even know how I'm going to do it now, because Jason, we were recording the last 2 during the day because I had some free time, but I got a job. I locked down a job. I told you through text. Yep. I 5 fucking interviews, all virtual. It was fucking crazy. And I locked something down. So I'm happy. American company. I told you before the show, an American company, Canadian division. So I've done that before. I mean, before the last job I worked for Starkey, and they're an American company. just a Canadian division. So it's not new territory for me, but this company's much larger than both companies I just worked for. So it'll be interesting. And there's room to grow within the company I'm working for, but also the bigger corporation as well. So exciting times, man.
Nice.
And I can't believe how much I watched since our last recording because I was away.
Wow.
I was at that concert on the Saturday night.
Oh, you did see a show.
Yeah, the Pixies and
Nice.
Modest Mouse.
Pixies.
Yeah,
And how were they?
they were great. Like I knew the Pixies quite well. Modest Mouse, I knew
Right.
a little bit. And I listened to more music leading up to it, and I was really enjoying them. But they put on a fantastic show. Both bands. What I loved about both bands, no bullshit, no political beliefs, no hey Toronto, how are you? They came out, they performed their songs, they got the fuck out of Dodge.
You don't like the talking, like
well,
them having a
thought I
personal thing
did.
with the crowd?
I thought I did until I experienced this, and I'm like, fuck, I really like that. Pixies came out, big wave, jumped right into their set, bam, boom, bing, boom, bam. An hour and 20 minutes later, an hour and a half later, done their set, 4 bows, left. No encore or anything. Because they put it all on the stage, man. When your last two when you do Where Is My Mind, and then they ended with a cover. And so those are what would have been the 2 encores. Hey, what's with the bullshit with encores anyway? Like the bands, like we're just gonna keep clapping. It became like there's a joke about it. You just know it's coming now. So I love the fact that you're like, no, we did everything already. Good night. And you could tell it was heartfelt. It wasn't like a fuck you to the audience. And they left. It was a great show. The only downfall, well, we were covered. The only downfall is it was raining, so it was miserable getting out of there. Miserable getting out. But other than that,
at least you weren't getting rained on during the show because you were in the
oh,
pavilion.
fucking yeah, the lawns. I felt bad for those guys. Yeah,
That's
even
why you don't go on lawns anymore.
God
at this stage of your life, paths only, man. You can't even mess around. Don't even.
I lucked out. Got good
a
seats. Well, I got these for Carrie's
Oh,
birthday
that's
and our
awesome.
anniversary. That was or was one of the gifts
Oh,
back when. So that's because she really loves the Pixies too. But we both came out Modest Mouse fans as well. Like not like we again both familiar with them, but not we were there for the Pixies. Modest Mouse was just as hot. Like they were great. It was a great show.
well, Modest Mouse. I don't know anything about their live show or their lights or either bands. I imagine the Pixie show isn't anything like theatrical, but the band just goes out there and just jams and does their thing, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Modest Mouse, because they're kind of I don't want to say they're prog, but they're kind of like they're definitely a studio band, and they're kind of like a combination of Tool and Fish in a way, where they're very musical and they're definitely
I knew.
in
I thought
tune
you were
with
going to
their
bring Fish
stuff.
up, and I was thinking the same thing. So I said maybe I should give Fish another try. Because like again it was very it's just you saw I just love when bands like you just see them shifting out guitars. There's one guy there's like it was a 6-piece band too, and there's one guy that just seemed to jump from area to area. He would be on keyboards. He would come up and be extra percussion. He would be like a tambourine or a shake, like some sort of shaking. It was great. He had something different in every fucking song or multiple things in one song.
Yeah.
It was really cool and just great musicianship and just great songs. Yeah. So all
they
around
really are
a great experience.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Like Modest Mouse, I've listened to them and stuff, and I appreciate their musicianship and what they're doing. I have nothing bad to say about them, but there was a reason I couldn't fall into them. Can't remember why. I have to go back and listen again. No, I don't care about the name. The name at the time just sounded like a college band, like an alternative band. Modest Mouse, that's fine. That works. No, I don't care about the name of a band unless it's like, let me think about this. We got to really dig deep to find out, huh? What band? I'm just trying to figure. Knowing me, I have heard the name of a band, and not wanted to be invested because of that. Definitely in hip hop, definitely. Like I've seen so many bad names in hip hop that I just won't even. So it has happened there. Mostly modern hip hop stuff.
I remember a guy when I was in university or college at that point. I think it was at Sheridan at this point. He hated Foo Fighters, the name, not the band.
At
He just
first,
hated the
it was
name,
stupid at
Foo
first.
Fighters. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you know what he means. It's like UFOs or something. That's what the old World War II pilots used to call them, or there is a story
Well,
behind it. But when they first came out, I did hate the name, but it didn't like, I heard the songs, the first couple tracks on the radio, and I liked them. So, but I always thought, but the stupid, and I used to say, why is it foo and not food? Food fighters. That's what I thought it should have been at the time,
and he
Because
also
how
hated
can you not think of food?
The Mentos commercial video. He thought it was too
Oh,
gimmicky
jeez.
and whatever. So he hated it. I thought it was
Not
funny. I
talk
liked it, but
about it. It was
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
That's not my favorite song by them, but no, I
No.
understand what you're.
Well, I
Yeah, I hear
think
what you're
he said
saying.
like it was one of those things. There's a couple of bands that over the years I've heard people comment on, and I've just, for whatever reason, it resonated with me that their comments like these guys are not going to last. Foo Fighters was one of them. I didn't say it. I just heard people say Foo,
Huh?
and they had staying
Wow.
power, like very
Yeah.
huge staying power. They grew. They actually got bigger. Well,
Yeah,
I guess
dude.
that's what happens. And then Beck.
Which
I
oh,
remember going to
Beck.
buy.
Wow.
I remember going in and buying Loser. What I don't know what the name of the is that
Mellow Gold.
Mellow Gold.
Album
Thank you.
one, Mellow Gold.
And I went to get it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll give it to you cheap, man. Like this guy's not gonna have any more albums after this. Like this is gonna be a one and done." And yeah, he was wrong too.
He sure as hell was. But the thing is, I could understand that because if you compare Mellow Gold to everything else he did, like when he came out, it did have a different type of sound to it, and it was just a lot of jokey stuff, and it was good. I enjoy the album. Don't get me wrong, but everything like Odelay to me was a masterpiece, and that
Yes.
was his follow up, and like boom, right? And everything he's continued on since, he's had so many different styles, and he's just become an auteur. He's
Yeah, he
freaking
recreates
just a
himself. I
very
like that. Not
talented.
everybody could do that,
Yeah, I
and
love
some
Beck.
fans don't like it when a band does that, right? Or whatnot. But that's
Right?
because it sort of became his thing. It just sort of works. But
It was
it's not.
great. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, he is great. Same thing with Foo Fighters, honestly. If you think about their sound in the beginning, they kind of transitioned to like they're a little bit Zeppelin-esque now in ways, in certain ways. I'm not as much as the band like the White Stripes is, because to me the White Stripes is kind of like the closest thing to a modern Zeppelin as far as when they were around, when they were playing. I used to
right.
always say like Fish was a take on the Dead and Floyd and the Beatles combined. Um, Oasis was like a Beatles thing, and there's another band I'm thinking of that was kind of a modern day something, and it's gonna slip my mind right now. But I would say that the White Stripes were kind of like modern day Zeppelin in a way. I mean, not exactly. I'm
Uh,
not gonna sit here and say
well,
that
yeah,
a
people
White
get their
Stripes album.
the panties in a bunch
Yeah,
when they
don't get
hear
all in a
Zeppelin.
bun. Right? No, no,
But
no, no.
I get it. I get. Hey,
But
let's.
the guitar
He's
playing.
fucking. What's that? I'm pretty sure I brought this documentary up on the show before, and of course I can't remember the name. But I had him, Jack White, The Edge, another huge guitar player, and they were just talking about
Hmm.
uh, guitar playing and the music. It's gonna fucking kill me now. And
I
what I
want to know
loved
what
is
this
that, like,
is.
Jack White. Oh, I think it was Tom Morello, I believe, was in it as well.
Oh
Uh,
wow,
because
those
it,
three.
just
Wow.
because of the way, and they were talking, it was a documentary, and just because of the experimentation, like on using a guitar and the sounds that you can get from it, and like Jack White, I think, was the one that was like literally cut a piece of bark or wood and made a guitar there in front and said, like, look, you can create music in infancy right here, and you can get really creative with this and create different sounds. And it was just a cool take. And I'm gonna have to find out what that documentary is called because it'll be a cliffhanger. I'm almost positive because we've gotten these music discussions before that it's come up before. I just cannot remember the name of that documentary.
I'm very curious to see it. And you have three
Let's see if
great guitarists who have three very different guitar styles.
which,
Morello,
yeah,
Edge, and Jack are very they do kind of have not do kind of. They definitely have signature sounds as guitarists. And if anybody ever talks trash about any of them, I mean, I won't even engage because they have signature sounds. They do what they do very well.
It Might Get
All around,
Loud
as far
is
as
the
I'm
name of the movie.
it might get loud. I'm
It
very
came out
curious
in
about this.
2008. It
Wow.
explores the careers and musical styles of prominent rock guitarists Jimmy Page, The Edge, and Jack White. So forget Tom Morello. maybe, maybe he's in it.
Isn't that
Maybe he's a talking head in it. But isn't it funny that you mentioned and compared?
Jimmy
Uh,
Page
yeah, yeah,
plays like,
yeah,
or other way around,
yeah,
is that
yeah.
Jack White has a Page style. Wow, interesting. And that kind of evolved with the band. When they came out, they had quicker songs and they were a little bit, and then they kind of like, as they grew as a band, they kind of had more melodic chorus, a little bit like Led Zeppelin songs. So I've always made that kind of comparison with them.
Well,
Speaking of music, though,
yeah.
big day for me. Big day for me in my life. Like
Today?
June 13th is the day. June 13th will always go down as a huge day for me because 31 years ago today, June 13th, 1993, Rich Stadium, where the Bills played. It's not called Rich Stadium anymore. It's New Era now.
Oh, poor
Whatever.
stadium.
Bottom line is
Poor fucking slumps.
Oh, poor slobs. That's amazing. Yeah, the poor fans, the poor slob fans get disappointed every year. Sure. No, well, the original owner, his last name was Rich. Okay, so anyway, Rich Products too. But anyway, Rich Stadium, June 13th, 1993. I am, let's see, 21 years old, right? Yeah, 21 years old, and I'm attending my very first Grateful Dead concert. It's the first Grateful Dead concert
Wow.
I ever saw. It's the first time I ever did acid. It was the same exact thing as one of my best friends, Richie. Same thing with him. First trip, first freaking time seeing the Dead, and basically a
First anal experience.
life-changing experience. It was life-changing. I will, if I don't go to that show and become that, the trajectory of my life basically changed that
No
day
fish
because I
talk.
become a different person. Well, there you go. I don't transition to fish. And speaking of fish, I'm not going to go on a rabbit hole of fish at all. I promise you I'm not. But did you happen to
It's, o-
see
it's only
what
Chris A.K. Scott
what
that gets mad
but
about it.
no, it's not even about fish. It's not it's about the concerts, but did you see what Drew Carey said about fish? Drew
No.
Carey went to those fucking fish shows at the Sphere, which I was supposed to go to, but because of what happened with my father, I had to cancel last minute. Well, let me look this up. It's going to take me a minute, but when I tell you these things,
Oh, you
it
look
is.
it up. I'll fill up the time then. While you're searching. I mean, unless you could do two things at once. I typically end up zoning out. That's why I do it. But you know what else today is?
What?
Today is his birthday. That's my good boy. Good.
June 3rd? June
June
13th?
13th.
That's
Yeah.
true. Wow, what a huge day. Think about this for me, especially.
Yeah.
Jason's birthday and the June 13th being my Grateful Dead. Holy shit.
Well, in a really cool plot twist that actually was cut out of the movie, Jason dropped acid and that's why he drowned.
Amazing. Oh shit. Or she was on acid. Mrs. Voorhees was on
Yeah.
acid the night she killed all the counselors. She
I
was
was a
talking
cook.
to
I was
herself.
a cook.
Right.
I don't know. Well, that's me doing acid. I've never done it. Been too
Oh my
scared to.
God. Unbelievable. So let me tell you a little bit. This is the first part. And then I'm going to tell you the rest. So, okay. Drew Carey said fishes. Hold on.
I don't want
Okay. Drew Carey's rave came during an appearance this week on Fish Radio on Sirius XM, during which Carey further drove into his life-changing experience. So there is a first part and a second. I should actually do the first part first and keep it in order, but I didn't see this part yet. So I was like, wait a minute, this is news to me. The second part. I didn't see that. So here we go. This was in Rolling Stone and things that ended up happening on Twitter as a result. So Drew Carey isn't the same man he was before he attended his first Fish concert. The psychedelic rock band shows are trippy enough on their own, but they recently completed a run of shows at the Las Vegas Sphere venue, a wholly immersive location with LED screens for walls. That twisted combination triggered a rebirth in the comedian, and Fish thanked him for it. But anyway, this is what Carrie was saying. I swear I just talked to God. Carrie posted on X, formerly Twitter, after the show. Would give you all my money, stick my dick in a blender, and swear off pussy for the rest of my life in exchange for this. Okay. Bro, I met God tonight for real. I felt like I just got saved by Jesus. No lie. Fish, people. Fish.
Yeah.
Okay. Somehow it got more intense, detailed, and NSFW from there. This is what it must feel like to come with a pussy, because if it's even close, I'm fleeing to wherever tomorrow and getting the best pussy money can buy. Carrie continued, I don't need to be a man no more. If it means, hold on. I don't need to be a man no more like this. If it means I can feel like this all the time, fucking keep it, bro. I can get this feeling instead. That was God at work or something like it. Felt like I was being saved by Jesus, no lie. It continues on. So I saw Fish at the Sphere this weekend. Never saw Fish, didn't know a Fish tune. And they fucking blew my mind off so hard. I thought to myself, I had a bunch of girls with me. And I thought to myself, is this what it's like to bleep with a bleep? He said. People that were there can verify. 100% true. This is what it's like. It's like being edged for 4 days straight. And right before this is all quotes here, and right before the face melting climax at the end of the 4th day, an angel comes down from heaven, Gabriel, and he shoots fucking heroin in your arm and says, good luck now, fucker. And he leaves, and then you have an orgasm for 15 minutes while your eyeballs fall out of your head, he added. So Drew Carey blown the fuck away at his first Fish show and seeing fucking.
That's obviously the acid talking, or one of those balloons that you bought and that he's suckling. The guy, he's gonna get fired from The Price is Right tomorrow. After saying all that shit.
This happened in April, right after the fucking thing. So now,
oh, I'm wrong.
This part's great.
Has he been fired?
This part's great.
Yeah.
In honor of the explicitness of his excitement for seeing the band in concert, Fish sent Carrie a blender, specifically a Vitamax, by mail, saying they hoped he would enjoy this gift and invited him to another show. Fish did this on fucking on Twitter, and
that's
then
pretty funny.
Carrie showed a picture of the blender. Yes. So now it goes on a little more. This is the second part. Drew Carey won't stop gushing about the Fish show at Sphere, saying the previous resident felt like a bar band by comparison. Now,
which was U2, wasn't it?
Yes. Here's the thing. Drew Carey really, really enjoyed seeing Fish at Sphere in Vegas. Like so much that he cannot and will not stop raving about the show that pried open his brain and spilled it all out all over the strip. But now he's tripling down by suggesting the Vermont Jam Band show made the $2 billion venue's debut act look like pikers by comparison. His latest rave came during the appearance on Fish Radio, where Carey further drove into his life-changing experience. I was just like a casual U2 fan, The Price is Right said about the rock icons who opened the venue. My friend of mine's really into it, he goes. He said, hey, let's go to U2 at the Sphere. And I thought, yeah, at the Sphere. I've always wanted to see the Sphere. Might as well. I went and it blew my mind how great it was. And I told all my friends, I talked to the Price is Right audience, how great it was. He loved it so much, he went the next 2 weekends in a row, even flying some of his friends in from Cleveland so they could have the first X-Sphere experience before the band wrapped up its 40-show run in March. So he was all about this U2 thing. And then, like 3 songs into Thursday night with Fish at the Sphere, I honestly was like kind of mad, Carey said. I wanted to call U2 and get my money back. They made them look like a bar band, honestly. No, don't get Carey wrong. He said U2 put on a great show, but he felt Fish took advantage of the audio and the video in that place. Anyway, etc., etc., etc.
Do you have Bob
Fucking
Barker's take
one
on
run. One run, 1 4-day thing for a guy like Drew Carey to go see fucking Fish, and he gets it. And you were talking earlier about the band talking. When you go see a Fish show, you are fucking waiting. Anytime anybody fucking takes a fucking moment to speak to the fucking crowd, we're fucking thrilled to hear anything they have to say because it's family, because it's special. And they appreciate, just like Trey said at MSG, we are bigger fans of you guys than you are of us.
Well,
This is, and I'm gonna stop. But
Well,
that
and
is
I
Fish.
always say my thing was just refreshing because usually they talk. And I'm like, okay, get on with it. Get on with it. I want to just get to the music. And so this time it was kind of nice just for both
Fair.
bands. And I actually didn't see Cat Power. She sounds great. I downloaded some of her music. It was just going to be too long. She came on at 6:30. It was 6:30, 6:30, 7:30 and 9:10 or something like that. That's each band coming on. And we were like, well, we're gonna get there. We have to have dinner. So we missed Cat Power. So I didn't see
Yeah.
her, but again, from what we saw, which is we came right when Modest Mouse took the stage. Yeah, I just liked it. I think Modest
Awesome.
Mouse did say maybe one thing, but it was leading into the song like very quickly. And that was it. It almost like if you didn't realize it, you wouldn't even know. But yeah, Pixie's nothing.
I'll be fair. I'll be fair. If I go to see Modest Mouse and Pixie, I couldn't give two shits if they talk to the crowd at all. I want to hear the fucking thing like you. That's different. But I'm spoiled.
Yeah.
After you've been to Fish shows, you can't compare other concerts to Fish. It's like comparing fucking, I don't know, the local fucking the place where you take your kids to go on fucking, little kiddie rides to fucking Disney World. That's the difference between a regular concert and a Fish show for people that can appreciate it. And on top of it, Fish never has an opening act, plays 3 hours, plays an encore. And if you go see him at Sphere for 4 days, you're not going to hear a song repeated, and they won't repeat songs. And it's just fucking, they have a incredible catalog.
I mean, that was the 4-day event, but you could go for 1 day if you wanted to, or one.
Of course you could.
Yeah.
Like I had tickets for the Thursday show, and that's it. If I would have got there, we would have gone to the Thursday show. The Friday and Saturday show were too much money to get into, as I talked about on the show. I'm not going to spend $1,800, not even for Fish. And then they got into the last show. So I would have seen the first show and the fourth show, and I would not have even seen 2 and 3. But I wanted to see every show I could. And now my brother, who hasn't been to a Fish show since the early 2000s, he saw some of the Sphere stuff, and he said, if they ever play at Sphere again, I promise you I am going no matter what it takes. Just from seeing a couple videos from the Sphere show, because they fucking put it on top of it. Yeah, man. So anyway, enough of that. But we were talking about music, and I was thinking about that Drew Carey thing. And I was thinking about the Grateful Dead thing, how that changed my entire life. Going to that show, I remember being in that show and going in there and tripping on acid, of course, and being a little nervous naturally. And I walk in and Sting is opening. And Sting's playing, and I'm nervous a little because I'm tripping on acid the first time, So, but I get in the show, and on the way in, he's playing fucking, he covers the Beatles. He covers fucking A Day in the Life, So now I'm getting comfortable because I'm a huge Beatles fan. I'm like, okay, that's a good sign, And then we get in and I sit down, and then I'm looking around and, just a little bit on edge and checking out the scene and what have you. And it's a big stadium. It's outside, June, weather's great, hot as fuck. And then he plays Roxanne, Roxanne. And I'll tell you what, that got everybody up and jumping and fucking in a great mood. And from that moment on, just bliss. And then the band comes on. Now, remember, I've never been to a show like this, so I don't know what's going to happen. I've been to other concerts, but I haven't been to a Grateful Dead show. It's different. So now the fucking show begins, and they come out, and the first couple fucking chords come on, and next thing you know, I'm looking to my right, I'm looking to my left, I'm looking in front, and everybody is fucking around dancing, just having a grand old time. And I've never seen people do this before that way. And everybody is just in a fucking glorious, happy, fucking loving mood, just happy to be there and fucking dancing around. And there I am witnessing it and going, so this is what it's all about. And that's it. Life-changing fucking moment, life-changing attitude about life and everything. So this date's always special. But now, how do I forget about June 13th with fucking Jason? Wow.
Yeah, because everybody thinks
It's
Friday.
double.
They got
It's
it. They got
double.
that Friday. I'm like, yeah, the date. Of course, the movie's Friday the 13th, but the fucking date is the June 13th.
Today's his birthday.
Yeah.
Correct. And
Yep.
today. And how about that shit? Speaking of that, it's canceled. It's back. Is there going to be another Friday the 13th? Holy fuck! What are they doing to us?
Well,
You know?
I mean, I was Mr. Positive way back when.
About the show.
It,
Yeah.
In fact, a show, a movie. In fact, in my solo cast, because someone commented on it on the YouTube page, because I get like when I went into post episode 200 or whatnot and get them all scheduled to be released on the YouTube page. There was a comment on that one. I'm like, what's this on? Because it's notoriously on YouTube. I'm not too sure, but on the audio version, again, it's not so fair to say because the audio numbers that we've got are only when we transferred over to. It's not from the start of Horophilia. It's when we started
Right.
and transferred them over to Anchor, which is now Spotify. So the numbers are huge just from that time frame that we transferred over to now,
Right.
but we don't have
Back
the
then.
original numbers to add on to that. So, but historically, from the time that we started Anchor, my solo cast is the lowest listened to episode out of all of them.
Well,
All
all
of
of ours are.
Yeah. Well, it was
Mine,
it's
yours,
mine,
and
Brandon,
Canada's.
and then there was another episode, and then yours. So you at least have bragging rights of not like you've got at least a regular episode
Oh,
cushion you in between.
what's the
Now,
episode?
I haven't checked,
What's the-
I haven't checked in so long. This is going back when I checked it way back
Wow.
when I mentioned on the show. So someone mentioned a comment and they said, I was like you, I was very positive. So I'm like, oh, I got to check what he's talking about. So he time stamped it. So I clicked on it. And it was me gushing over going, yep, I'm really excited that we're going to get a new Friday the 13th next year. Looking forward to it. And I was because this was like at that time frame where we were thinking it was going to be 2015. Then we thought it was going to be 2016. And that's when the lawsuit started and
done
it all
by
got
then.
fucked up. Yeah, you were like, it's not going to happen. And I'm like,
I was
yeah,
jaded. Yeah.
yeah.
Jaded as fuck.
So, yeah.
Then
it
I got
just
my
goes to
hopes up
show-
for this show.
Yeah.
And now what? Is it going to
Yeah,
happen or not?
I don't
now?
know.
How fuck it?
Well, now I'm
It drives
jaded,
me
so I don't
nuts.
even I don't give a fuck. Like
You
I'll be
see?
happy when it lands because it's getting to the point where I'm getting pissed off for the wait. Like it just doesn't seem, I just don't understand it. Between that and then the other thing that I always talk about is like Nightmare on Elm Street. Why the fuck have we not had a new Nightmare on Elm Street film? Again, I didn't think there was any
I know.
legalities there. I just knew the last one didn't do that well, but that doesn't mean they're rebooting fucking everything now. We had a First Omen that you figure that they could have. That don't you think? I mentioned this last episode, but don't you think the revelation and people's expectations and their thoughts and feelings? Because there's a lot of people that actually enjoyed the First Omen, and there's some that didn't. If they didn't call it the First Omen, they just call it something else. I don't know, like Immaculate. And then all of a sudden you see it and it's playing out and you're like, wait a second here, this is sounding familiar. And then it leads in and then you get that reveal that they're going to be, you see the picture of what Gregory Peck.
Gregory Peck.
And and whatnot. I just think instead of it being called the First Omen, I know that obviously there's bank tied in with the name, but if it was just something else, and maybe it leaked, but they didn't really, it was more of a surprise that was the revelation as the movie progressed. If you're watching Immaculate, you wouldn't know what the
Wow.
fuck's going on. and then all of a sudden they drop the bomb on you. Then in the last half of the last act, you're like, wait a second here. Then that's when the music kicks in a bit more so, and then whatever.
Yeah,
I wonder if
but I agree with you 100%. I would love if it would have been a reveal. Problem is, there was too much of the other Omen flavored stuff going on throughout. It's all for you,
yeah.
and the other fucking callbacks. You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I mean? The
they
member
could have
berries,
yeah, they could
and not.
either erased them, or that could have been the first, wait a second here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and like a revelation. I mean, that it's not a revelation. It becomes like, oh yeah, okay, they're just doing a callback to the first movie. But if it's not called the first Omen, suddenly it's all for you. It changes it a little bit. The perspective changes, and then you're like, wait, that's cool. Wait, now they're giving me
Right.
a hint instead of like,
You know what it is,
eh.
buddy? I'm with you. I am with you on that whole thing. Here's what I think it is, though. Didn't this debut on like no wait, it played at the theater first, right?
Yeah.
And then came to Paramount exclusive or something like that. I remember this was an exclusive for one of those places.
Yeah, no,
I
it
want to
got a
say
theatrical
Paramount.
run. It got a theatrical run. My buddy went to see it in the
Okay, so it's
theater, and he
yeah,
didn't
okay.
like it, which
Right.
him and his wife went, and so I'm like, oh, okay, I'll wait. And then he didn't like it, and then Brian and Jamie mentioned it, and they didn't like it at all either. And then I wasn't hearing much, and all of a sudden, positive was starting to come out. Kind of like the movie we're going to be talking
Yeah.
about tonight, and I could save it for later. But the teaser, because I've already, I think, blew my load one episode ago, was that I was like talking about Jason Smith, Sinister Cinema reviews or whatever. A lot of naysaying on on the Strangers, chapter one. I was going to say the chapter Stranger
Right.
one, the Strangers chapter one, and so I'm like, oh God, that sucks. I'm not. And then you mentioned that on Jay's new horror movies, or one of the shows, that Watson and Company actually seemed to
They
have a
liked it.
positive experience. So I'm
Yeah, and
like,
that was
oh,
the
that's
first positives I heard.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's very interesting. Um, and yeah, we'll get to our thoughts a bit later today. But I was like, torn, because Chris A.K. Scott didn't like it either. He said it was, just
Right.
middling, totally average, nothing else. I mean, okay, like, so be it. Um,
Yeah.
and but again, I'm getting off topic, but ultimately, I just wondered if they could have played around with it. But they've got a built-in bank, a built-in audience by using the Omen name in the title, obviously. But
Yeah,
no,
but
no,
I hear
man.
you. I hear you. That would have actually been pretty awesome. Man,
Like
I love when they have
when they did
something
Blair
lead into
Witch,
something.
when they did Blair Witch
See, that I was going to
2016,
mention that,
wasn't it called
but
Within
they
the
blew
Woods,
it.
yeah,
Well,
something
no, no,
happened,
no.
right?
It was just, I think it was just called The Woods, right? Within the Woods, I believe. I could be mistaken. I believe Within the Woods was the original short film that was before Evil Dead.
You're right.
Am I wrong?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this movie was called The Woods, a very generic, man. There's been other movies called The Woods, as generic as can get. But here's the problem. It was marketed as The Woods, and it was called The Woods. And then for a week or two before it came to theater, they announced that it was another fucking Blair Witch movie,
Yeah.
which made no sense. What should have been done was it should have just been called The Woods. And when everyone that went to see it, when their asses hit the seats, that's when they discovered it. This is a Blair Witch. And I don't understand to this day why they pussyfooted with it. At the end, they just freaking
Because I
decided
think
not
they,
to.
just like the Omen, they thought that the Blair Witch, of course, carried weight that would be guaranteed box office. Maybe producers got a little antsy and said, fuck, we got to do something here. But because it didn't really, again, correct me if I'm wrong, from my memory, I don't believe it performed well. I really like it. I actually like all three
I do too.
Blair Witch movies.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
it's fine. I'm just saying that I believe they probably said, we're getting cold feet. Hey, we got to call it Blair Witch, or we got to get the title in there. Again, this is all speculation. I have no fucking clue. I'm just, thinking
Well,
like an exec would, that is afraid to lose a fucking buck.
here's what they did. I recall this. They pulled that trick once at a film festival. at a it must have been like a film festival. Which one I don't know, but it played at a film festival as a movie called The Woods, and then everybody got surprised to see that it was the Blair Witch, and then the news broke. So instead of waiting to surprise the audience at theaters with it, they decided to freaking show their hand at a film fest and then let the news break.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
could be
one way or
wrong,
the
but
other
that's
with
what
the
I
internet now,
recall.
it's gonna spread like wildfire. So like you've got like a night, you got the matinee and the first night, opening night, and then pretty much the next day, everybody knows that's typically going to be interested in seeing the film. Because then it might actually turn people off that don't want a sequel or don't want whatever as well. So then they may be like, oh, I was going to go see it. I'm not going to check it out now. Whatever it may be. It can work either way. But I mean, again, marketing, they've been creative with some of these marketing techniques lately, like with Smile. Smile had a cool campaign attached to it. There was another one just recently, but it's escaping me as well. I
I
can't. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
I
But
don't know. Terrifier? No, I don't know.
no, although that teaser was cool. I'm talking about like just from a print campaign or just
Right.
like print's weird because it's not necessarily just print, but like showing up on websites or whatever it may be or in ads. They've been getting a little bit more creative, which I think they're going to have to. Um, like I believe it will be interesting to see the overall box office numbers from theatrical runs this year, because as mentioned previously in previous episodes recently, I think theaters are going to take a big hit. I think this is probably going to be a horrible year next to like 2020 or 2021 because of COVID and just the shutdowns of theaters. I think
Mhm.
2024, being not in a lockdown pandemic environment, is probably going to show some horrible, horrible returns.
I hear you, and I know this isn't the popular thing to say, and I, for one, love the theater experience. However, I'm just content to wait for almost everything now because it's taking, and I kind of get bummed out. Like for example, I saw the TV Glow we were talking about early in
Yeah.
chat today with the 22 shots guys and one, and so I looked it up. I go, everyone's been talking about it for a while. I wonder if it's freaking available yet, or when is it coming to streaming? And I go and it just says showtimes, and it came out May 17th, and here I am. Today's June 13th, and it's been less than a month, and I'm like, all right, come on, come home, come home. So because it's only taking a month to 6 weeks to come home, I'm not having a desire to go see a movie that I may or may not like. It's weird. There's like some movies I will go see. I'm definitely going to see Maxine the first chance I get. That's different. But there's very few that I want to run out to.
Well,
I would go out, take my family for something that for if there's like a movie we're all interested in, we'll go see something. But to sit here right now and think about what that would be like this year,
hey,
they don't care about the Alien franchise. They're not going to
did
want to go see Alien Romulus,
Did you
you
know? I
know?
was just about to ask you if you knew that was coming out. I actually had my head in the sand or something like that. I didn't even realize it was coming out until just more recently. I watched the preview and I thought it looks great. I actually thought
And
it looked
Fede Alvarez,
yeah, man. I'm very in that one. Well, of course, Long Legs and Maxine, but I'm looking forward to that as
yeah,
well. Like we've got like there's a lot that have been announced that are coming, and some of them in the next month, and then some other ones like later in the year, like Terrifier 3, I believe Saw 11, amongst
okay.
others,
Now
Alien.
Saw 11, I'll go see at the theater with my family. We're all Saw fans. They've seen them all. It's different. See, that's what I'm saying. A sequel to a franchise that we're into, that's one thing. But something else, I don't like Long Legs as much as I'm probably the biggest fan there is as far as like his three movies, Oz Perkins, enjoying them a lot. Where some people don't, some people didn't like Gretel and Hansel, some people didn't like the second movie. You
Oh,
know what I
Pretty
mean?
Thing That
The
Lives
Pretty
Down the
Thing.
Lane. Lives in the
Yeah,
house.
where
Yeah, yeah,
I've loved them all. So it's
yeah.
like, okay, but I noticed that not a whole lot of people are on board for all three. So, like I said, I'm a really big fan of Oz Perkins and what he's done, but I don't feel the need to run out and go see that one. For some
No.
reason, Gretel and Hansel I wanted to see at the theater when it came out. something about that. I thought it was going to be a good, trippy type of experience, big screen, something like that, colorful maybe. And it did have those certain aspects to it that worked. But other stuff, like, you know, I just like Bones and all. I went to the theater and enjoyed it, but I could have waited to see it at home. I could like certain movies that
Wow.
I just I'm weird now. Like I don't want to go to the theater unless it's something special, and that's part of what keeps it special. But I don't care to go see like all these movies, or I'd just rather wait. Like I saw the
Well,
TV Glow or The
I'm good.
Strangers, you know. And I know that's not the popular thing. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, don't you care about the theater? I'm like, yeah, I do, but it's just so easy, and everything comes home so quick now, and it's cheaper, and it's less time involved. So it's
I've
like,
got these.
and I
I've
have
been waiting to
a good
use them
system.
for,
What's that?
the
Oh,
VIP
wow.
tickets. So 19 and older, the
VIPs.
VIPs, and I'm saving them because I know Carrie and I are going to go see Maxine together because I got her into X and Pearl. So now she wants to see the new one too.
Nice.
And so this is our, I already know that's date night, first night, no
Nice.
question. And I want to see that VIP. Long Leg, she has no interest in seeing. She thinks it's going to be too scary.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to drag like one of my
Probably
friends
gonna
out
be
to see it,
trippy.
which is fine. But I'm looking forward to that as well. And it's never a
I know
problem. Like I
nothing
told you
about it.
in a Violent Nature, I just knew based knowing
Well,
what I knew going
no.
in, I'm like, I'm not dragging someone to it because I don't want them to drag me down. I want to,
No.
I drag myself down, like I mentioned last show or 2 shows ago, whatever the fuck we talked about it.
Right.
But like I said, I will check it out when it hits Shutter again. I am looking forward to seeing. I see the TV Glow. I saw the TV Glow, even though I've heard it's
Mm.
borderlines on horror. It's not necessarily horror. It's I guess horror enough, but it's
Kind
not.
of like the last one was,
Yeah, and I
right?
wasn't.
From the
Yeah,
same
I was.
director.
And again, I was iffy on that. There were some good points to it, but
Right.
I
That's
something
the
about
World's
just
Fair.
leaving a lingering shot on somebody, which for like 5 to 10 minutes. It's a little. I'm like, is this artsy or is this you fucking with me right now?
No, I get it. That's why I'm surprised that you want to go see this one after not being
Oh, I'm not going to go see it in
overwhelmed
the
with.
theater. I thought it was coming to
Oh,
Shutter.
okay.
Sorry, I'm not going to go see it in the theater. I
Oh,
would have
maybe it
gone
is.
already. Yeah, yeah. No,
Right.
I'm. And it again is like it's more just along the lines of like yeah. They said it's very. I think there's some similarities based on the fact that it is the same director and writer and whatnot. So like
Yeah.
similar style. So I'm not anticipating liking it. I'm just hearing a lot of praise for it. But with that praise, I also heard that this is not, horror's maybe not forthright. It might be like a secondary or third thing on the list. But it's still, engaging enough that I'm intrigued enough to want to check it out for sure. Enough
Yeah, I'm
positive to be
curious
said
because
about
of
it.
the buzz.
Yeah.
There's a good buzz for it, and I liked, didn't love. I gave it like a 7, the World's Fair movie, but I like
Yeah.
it, and there was something about it. But I figure it's going to be the same type of thing. But it seems like this is getting more praise, so I'm figuring maybe he grew as a director. There's some more going on. I'm very curious about it, but I'm going to wait, of course. Like I said, Maxine. I mean, I'm going whether it's by myself or with the girls. I mean, I think that I would. I think my wife and daughter would want to go. They've seen the first two. They enjoy them. You know what I mean? So I think they would go. Now if nobody's here, like if Irene's at work or something, I'm going myself. I'm going to go to the
Yeah.
Wednesday show at midnight, whatever. The very first
Wherever, yeah.
way you can
Whenever
see it, I'm going
pops.
to see it. Or I'll take Francesca. It's going to be summertime, so I mean, who knows? But I'm going to go. But I'm sure I'll see it twice. So if they want to see it, I can imagine that I'll see that twice, and I'll see that with them. And if it's a time where I go by myself, I go see that myself too. There's certain ones I will, but I'm not missing that. Of course not. I'm going to be first in line. But that's really the only one I feel that way about. Like if something else is coming out by the end of the year, something else. Is it the other Saw? No, it's not. It's not this year, right? It's the next year.
For what?
But there's something coming out in the closing months of this year that I want to see at the theater. There's another movie, and I can't remember what it was, but it's kind of a big name movie. So I
Again,
don't know.
drawing a blank. Drawing a blank
Yeah,
because
I don't
again, a
know.
lot of the big
I
ones that I was interested in are coming out this summer. we've mentioned them already. Long Legs, Vaccine, Alien later. I'm assuming Saw again is in October. I'm assuming Terrifier might be October too, even though it's a Christmas themed one. Are they doing it for Halloween
Yeah.
or are they doing it for Christmas?
I think they're doing it for Halloween, and I wish they weren't. Hate to
Yeah.
say it. I mean, October is a great month and all, but I'm not going to go to the theater anyway, I don't think. Well, it depends on how long it's going to take to come to home. I don't
I
know.
think I
I
think
would
this one's
consider
gonna
going to see Terrifier 3.
this one's gonna
Yeah,
be the biggest
I think I
release,
could do
right?
that.
For
Yeah,
sure.
probably, huh? Yeah.
Let's see.
You know
I'm
what?
checking for a release date.
I'll probably see that at the theater. That's one I think I would go to. But again, I'm not taking my wife to see that. She doesn't want to see a
No,
gory ass freaking thing like that. And I
no,
get it.
Carrie,
Francesca might, but I don't know if she
Carrie
saw
wouldn't
them.
like it either. Joss would
Yeah.
see it, but Joss will be at school. So unless I go up to see
Ah,
her, then
right.
yeah. October 11th,
I,
2024, Terrifier
yeah,
3.
an October thing again. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So
guess that's okay. I guess
and
that's
then
all right.
Saw 11. I'm wrong. Saw 11's not coming out this year. I thought they
Yeah,
were
I didn't
rushing
think
it.
so. It seemed too
They announced
okay.
it. Well, they had done one every year before. Like I thought because of how popular that other
True.
one was, that they were going to rush this one out, but it's coming out next year. It's only in pre-production.
Well, they have to write a story for this one, whereas the other one they were coming out right back then. It was a continuing saga. They were probably half writing it while they were freaking filming the other one. You know what I mean? It was a saga almost, like Saw. It was just like connecting chapters. Where this, they probably have to come up with the idea of where it's going to take place and what's going to happen. And I'm excited about it. But again, I thought 10 was a perfect number, and I thought 10 was the perfect movie to end it with. I
Of
really
course.
do.
Of course, but
You
yeah, you
know?
can't argue with the almighty dollar again, right? Maybe
No,
they'll
I just
call
hope
it
that they don't
the
disappoint.
first Saw.
The first Saw. How many firsts have we had? The first Omen. We've had the how about the other one? The first, which is confusing when you say the title. Oh, the first Purge. The fourth movie was called the first Purge.
Oh, it's so
So when you
fucking
talk about all
yeah.
the first Purge, right? The Final
You're like, no, no,
Destination.
no. I'm
They
talking
did
about
that.
yeah. What about
What about Final Destination 6? Have you seen? This is official apparently. And
yeah,
there's a poster out and all this other shit.
again, I don't
Yeah.
know if it was supposed to come out this year or next year. I think it's next year. It's
It's
2020.
next year, I think.
Yeah, it's 2025. Because when I was reading and I heard some popular buzz about Tarot, which ended up being very generic and worth a watch, but don't expect anything new or crazy. I mentioned this last show. They were talking about how this leads into showing that Final Destination could still be very bankable. I'm like, other than a group of kids getting killed by a supernatural force, I mean, okay, great. Those are the two similarities, but we've had it so many other times before. Why would the success of Tarot, wouldn't the success of the other 5 Final Destinations tell you that the Final Destination 6 has an audience? I just thought it was such a weird way to write the
Right?
article or comparison. That's where I'm going with that, if I articulated that correctly. But
That's fine.
anyway,
No, I get you. It's called Bloodlines.
yeah, that's
Weird.
another thing with these fucking bloodlines. Every movie where they put bloodlines
Yeah.
in the title, I start to get a little antsy or worried as well.
Why not 6? But then you look at this poster, but this is a poster that was
Hey,
it's
do you have
in
Orphan?
Spanish.
Do you have Orphan and Orphan First Kill on your slasher list?
No. But I've watched them this past year again because First Kill was good.
Yeah,
Why, you
well,
consider them slashers?
I didn't. I don't think I would have considered Orphan a slasher, but Orphan First Kill, I think, played out more like a slasher. I remember. I love. Like, I mean, I was on my list.
I like them
Like,
both.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed. Well, they are both good. So I was like, oh shit, I got to watch that again for sure. And I put it on my short list to add. And I'm like, and I'm okay if one's not, like, again, if we knew that these other Strangers movies wasn't going to come out, Strangers Pray at Night, no question, would be on my list. But I'm automatically disqualifying it, knowing that this is a trilogy.
Yeah.
And they've already been they've been made. It's been made. It's just gonna come out. I don't even know when the second one's
Well,
coming out, but I'm just assuming.
I think this year.
Yeah, exactly. So I just know that there's no point because we know it's already going to be, 5 movies in total of the
Yeah,
franchise.
chapter 2 is, I believe, coming out this year, right? I think that by the end of the year. Strangers, let's see. I
Well, that
thought
would be
so.
another good one
Chapter
to release
2.
at Halloween time. That would be, we
Yeah.
could never have enough horror films released in that time frame.
It just says 2024. There's no official date. This one says that can't be right. It just says 2024 here. Spain, July 12th. That's impossible. Internet.
Must be a
How could that be?
festival.
That can't. May 15th in France.
Yeah.
There's no way it's already played.
May
We
15th.
would have heard something.
Yeah.
That's what it says here. May 15th in France, in July, someplace, wherever else I
The
said.
French always lie.
The old, you
Anyway,
know
I'm
about
kidding
it, the
everybody.
French.
Jesus Christmas. Why don't we get into some of the slashers you watched and some of the slashers I watched? Oh shit, I'm bringing up
Yeah,
the
we got a
wrong.
couple.
I got a
I
shit
gotta see
ton.
what the hell I have. Really? How many you got?
I got
I'm
6.
very curious. Wow. Well, here's what I can do. You have 6 you can talk about. You have
Yeah.
other things besides slashers? Do you have 2024s or anything else or this or that?
Yeah, I
Or no?
think I do have 2024s as well.
Wow.
I might not
I have a
actually because
2024.
it was just the one that we're doing tonight. Strangers Chapter 1. Strangers Chapter
Oh, there's 3
1.
movies too. Sorry.
Yeah.
Did you watch
Yeah, yeah,
Kill
yeah.
Your Lover or no?
I have not watched Kill Your Lover.
Okay, so I have a 2024. I have a let's see. Yep, I got 2 slashers, a 2024, and a half, just something to talk about, and another thing to talk about. But
So
they
I'll just do
won't take
slashers.
long. Okay,
Like kind of like you did that, and I did all those 2024s that one night. I'll start with one
right.
just because I think I've got a little bit more, like maybe one or
Do it
two
up,
more.
man. Yeah.
I rewatched They Them from a
Oh,
couple of years ago, just because it was a slasher and I wanted to check it out. And same sort of problem, but I enjoyed it more this time. The the thing
Hmm.
is, when it's a slasher movie, it's actually a great slasher movie. The downfall is it takes major breaks for being a slasher movie to be I don't want to say the agenda film, but like the film that is about them being, converted from gay, whatever their gay tendencies to straight. And although I know that's the point of the movie, it bogs the movie down. If they could just
hmm.
somehow just cut that a bit, but it's not a disgrace. You've got Kevin Bacon in a slasher movie. You've got some good gory
Yeah.
kills. I mean, I like the setup and I like the reveal. So a lot of people came in with a hate on this, and I think it's because of the they them factor. Take that away, I actually quite enjoyed it. I just wish they trimmed it down a little bit and focused more on the slasher element.
Right.
That's it. But I mean,
Yep, that's fair.
it's not a bad movie. I'd say 6.5. I actually went up a little bit, so 6.5, maybe even a 7, but it wouldn't be on my list. Wouldn't be my list for
Fair.
sure. But
Right.
I enjoyed my time with it. It's just a little too long.
That's
And
fair. Now, I never
the other
watched
part.
it. I never watched it.
Give it a
Just
chance,
based on
man.
what I heard, I was
I
like,
know. I
yeah,
mean, well, a lot of people shit on a lot of these modern slashers, and I'm not entirely sure why, because they become some of the things that they're doing, at least are gory. Like, I will tell you this, it's one of those ones that has that long, like half hour or longer, like time frame in between kills.
yeah, that's okay. I've seen this before. That's
Well,
okay.
even Prominent
Do they
has
amp it
that. I
up in
mean,
the? Yeah,
yeah,
right.
they
It's a
do.
different kind of movie, though. I'm sure it's more of a mystery, and it's set like a '70s movie, and they were still newer back then, slashers. So it's weird. Do they amp it up in the third act?
Yeah,
Because I noticed that happens a lot
and they do. It
with
is a
slashers.
whodunit. So if you like
Okay,
the whodunit type slashers, it's worth checking out. I
which
mean, a lot of people shit on it. And I'm assuming it's because of the subject matter, but it's not even a bad. it's not even an agenda film in my mind. Like some of these other ones that I've watched kind of seem to be.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's there, but it's built into the plot. But you could easily say that like based on who the killer is and everything like that. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to give anything away since you haven't watched it, but I think you should check it out. I'd be interested in seeing what your take is on it.
Maybe I will. I am curious about it now. I thought it might have been heavy-handed with a message. You know what I mean? And at this point, I'm just I'm over it. Like
It,
it's I was
it,
having a discussion not too long ago with um somebody said something on Instagram about were they saying about something with political horror and something, or it says horror is political, or somebody made some statement about something, and then someone said, I don't want politics when I watch my horror. I want to turn I want to get away from it. And then of course somebody comes back in and says, well, I guess you didn't watch all of George Romero's zombie films and everything else. And then I saw this and I don't respond. I just observe. And I'm thinking
yeah,
to myself, that is true. That cannot be disputed. But we've covered this before. You could watch a Romero film, or you could watch an older film that had a message in it and not be beat over the head with it. And
yeah,
you
we've
can
said on the
have it
show. You're
even
right.
without, you can have it, you could view it and not even, that doesn't even have to cross your mind. You could watch it as a zombie film and not get into the any type of deeper
You
than
could,
that. You
yeah,
know
you
what I
could
mean?
deep dive, but you
Now,
can also have surface level enjoyment from it. Yeah,
right, but now surface level is the message. It's too heavy, it's too upfront. You don't have to dig, you can't escape it. And that becomes a problem, I think. And it's not that I don't, and it doesn't even matter if I agree with the message or I disagree with the message of anything anyone's doing. I just, I would rather it be where you kind of have to dig
well,
a little bit and
I
it
liked
does
it
it
better
where it's not
than
forced.
Departing Seniors, which is now free on Tubi. Everybody, fuck, I had to pay for it and
Yeah,
rent it,
right.
and it's free on Tubi, of course. It's better than Departing Seniors in my mind. It's better than Founders Day. And maybe this is not saying much, but I mean, we're talking about slashers. Uh, but it's not great. But the again, I don't want to spoil too much because the message at the end of the day is kind of just what we always is say. I don't want to give it away. Like essentially, just be happy. Essentially, is the message. Be without getting any deeper. Be happy. So I don't think they're beating anybody over the head with it because when you see how the movie plays out and everything, it's actually quite interesting
Mm-hmm.
that they went the route that they did. Um,
Well, I
so
trust you here because you felt the same way about the Black Christmas movie, the last one, that I do. I'm not saying I like it a lot, but I thought it was unfairly critiqued for being too woke and too anti-man and when I watched the movie, I was like, wait a minute. Uh, I see one character that's this way, but I don't see every single character acting this way. I'm not saying it's a great movie by any means, but I'm saying so many people critiqued that one. And I've seen other movies where it irked me. What the hell was that movie that I talked about you and B with a while back when every single man in it was portrayed,
well,
you
that
know,
was
as a bad
Valentine,
guy
wasn't it?
throughout it?
But we
Well,
both
no,
like
no,
Valentine.
not that way, yeah, but that is true. No, it's more of a recent movie. It was a Shutter movie, and you remember the girl that
Yeah.
kept
What was
mansplaining
it?
stuff to her. The cops came to the house, and everywhere she went in a parking garage, and then she got jumped again by some other
Oh, the
guy,
one
and it
that
was
I hated.
really
I think I
you hated it
hated
too.
that one.
I
Um,
didn't hate it. I just didn't like
oh,
that aspect
no,
being
I did,
shoved
and
down.
I would have to go back into my list. I remember just and people were raving about it at one point, and I'm like, this is fucking not for me. This movie. No, and that's the
And
great. That's
uh,
what
you
they
know,
them is it's different. It's like again.
okay,
I could tell you the quick premise without spoiling like anything. It's just about a
it's a
camp.
conversion camp,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, I've heard
That's
about
it.
that. So
Yeah.
it's going to
So
make fun of those people that try to convert, which they should be made fun of. I agree. But I don't want my whole movie to be about that.
but
You get
they
what I'm saying?
actually, I feel like, although there it's maybe not balanced exactly. I feel like they give the people that are trying to do the conversion, they other than one scene, that one scene that gets like really evil dark, I think they're like, okay, like they're not, I get what they're trying to like do. I'm not agreeing with it, but I'm saying it's almost like they're not trying to be so one-sided. Now,
That's good.
I say that, but then another scene goes down that more one-sided route, but it works because it makes the scene a little bit more powerful too. Like, okay, now we know there might be something more hidden here, but then as a like like I don't know, watch it, man. Because the more I'm talking about it,
I
I'm like,
will.
yeah, people. I think when with especially with trans, I think people get because there's a trans character. I think it automatically alienates your audience. It's like having a political agenda in your film, and you're like right away you're alienate half your audience, right? Typically, I'm talking in
You
extremes.
can.
If you're
I
doing
mean,
that,
but too bad for them.
yeah. So
Too bad for them. If you can't stand to see a
I
trans
it's not the
character, then
fucking
that's on
second
you.
coming. It's six and a half,
Right.
maybe leaning towards a seven, but I'd watch it again. I'm glad I watched it again. I'm like, I'm gonna
Right.
give this another try. It's on fucking
Fair
Netflix. I mean,
enough.
why not? Now again, you might come in and go, oh God, Christian. I don't think you will. Where I think you'd be is probably between a six and
Right.
a seven. I think that's where you'll end up,
Okay.
personally.
No, I trust you on this because you kind of you tend to view these things the same way I do when it comes to these things that are them making statements and everything else. So I'll follow you on that. Like there's another movie that the 2024 movie that I saw. There came a point in the movie where I said I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna bet that a female wrote and directed this movie, and I was right. Well, but she had it was co-directed and co-written by someone else who I believe was male. But still, the way it was playing out didn't make me dislike the movie anymore. But I saw it as a female voice thing, which which is fine. Which was like what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, um, either way, I saw it as a feminist a, a feminist take on something, and I
Yeah.
was like, so be it. But I was like, it was to the point where I was like, okay, I have a feeling this was written and directed by a female just by the direction we're going in here. Didn't take away from my enjoyment, but that was still the vibe I got. I said, okay, I want, and sure enough, I was right. I enjoy the movie still. That didn't weigh on it, but it got to the point where I thought it may be getting a tiny bit in the heavy-handed direction, and I was like, all right, let me
Well,
see here. And sure enough,
one of the ones Braden and I didn't like that you liked was that I Blame Society. I thought that was heavy-handed. And I don't feel like they, them was heavy handed because I don't actually think they're shoving anything there down your throat necessarily. And they're just presenting it as this is what it is. This is their thoughts. This is their thoughts.
hmm
Both have a voice. Now, they play with the possible evilness of the heads of the camp a little bit, but it's not in the way that you would expect. The biggest fault of the movie again is like abandoning the slasher element for far too long.
Yeah.
And then it coming back into play. And that was my biggest critique the first time. But I remember a lot of people, there's a lot of naysayers that initial time. And I remember thinking it was all right, but nothing to write home about. But again, for the slasher show, I wanted to check it out again. And I wasn't disappointed with my time with it.
Right on.
So
No,
that's what it
I'll
boils down
check it
to.
out. I'll check
Production
if I
value
have the
helps.
time.
I'm a
Yeah.
sucker for
Okay.
production value. That's going to come back into play
Yeah.
later on um, in the show today too. But we talked
I
way too long
agree.
about this one movie. I apologize.
Yeah.
So go
No, no,
ahead.
it's
You
okay.
shoot.
I don't have a. Well, you know what I'll do? As long as I'm talking about that one movie, before I will talk about the 2024. But before I do that, I was going to watch a big movie from 2023. Because we were going to talk about it on Jay's
Oh
show.
yes, yes. You said, and you had something controversial to say.
Yeah. And now, again, I have only seen 40 minutes of the movie and it's a 2-hour movie. Okay. But it's at least 2 hours, I think. Pretty sure it's just 2. Either way, I'm talking about Godzilla Plus One. That
Oh, yeah.
one from
Or
last year that
minus
everybody
one.
loved. -1.
Plus
Whatever.
one. I'm bringing King Kong with me tonight, guys.
Right.
Godzilla,
Yeah.
here's my
Plus one
one.
makes more sense. Yeah, that's it. A +1 at a party or a wedding or as a +1. That makes sense. What does -1 even fucking mean?
You tell me. You watched the movie.
Well, I didn't get that deep in it, and I'll tell you what happened. Okay, now I didn't rage quit it or anything of that matter. Don't get the wrong idea. I ran out of time. One thing led to another, and I had to go back to it, and I couldn't finish it. However, this is basically what happened. I'm watching the movie, and in the first, did you see this movie or not?
No, I know it's on Netflix. I still haven't watched it. Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
I will.
So,
We'll get to it. Yeah.
okay, these are my notes. Okay, Godzilla. All right, my first note: water looks great. They're going over the water. It's beautiful looking. It's shot really well. Looks really cool. This is my second note. Please kill this guy. Okay? Please kill
Godzilla.
this guy. Not Godzilla. The movie opens up. I don't want to spoil. Nah, it's not even spoiler. I'll say so. As this movie starts, there's these people. I think they're on an island. I can't. The guy lands his plane, and it turns out he's being a coward because he says that this is like World War II. I think that they're in or something, right? So, he stops and lands his plane at this island, and these people are supposed to like fix it. But it turns out they're talking and they don't see anything wrong with his plane. Turns out he's a gunner too. You know, and he flies. He's a kamikaze pilot. That gets revealed later. But anyway, he has this plane, right? And Godzilla comes out of nowhere, right? So everybody's trapped. There's like him, and there's like, I don't know, 20 other guys on this fucking
Don't you
island,
love when Godzilla
right?
comes out of nowhere? The fucking thing's honking huge, comes out of nowhere.
Well, it's the ocean. It can swim in the ocean. I'll give it that. Godzilla itself looked great. All that stuff looked great, but this is what happened. Shit's hitting the fan with Godzilla. So now they can't fight this thing. So they ask the guy that has that is a gunner, that fucking is a pilot that has a big machine gun in the front of his plane to go sit in the cockpit. And when fucking Godzilla comes around, start fucking shooting him. So what happens? The son of a bitch makes it to the fucking vehicle, makes it to his plane, right? I guess it's a vehicle. Gets ready to shoot Godzilla and freezes up for no good reason. Doesn't do shit. Is sitting there looking and stops and fucking chickens out. He's the only hope they fucking have, and he just sits there and does nothing. Now, everybody gets fucking wiped out because of this guy, this fucking asshole. So now I'm saying, please kill this guy. He's caused all these people that all he had to do was fucking. And now I realize that shooting this against Godzilla is not going to kill Godzilla.
Yeah, you've watched enough Godzilla films. Yeah, exactly.
Right. But he doesn't know. He's the only hope, literally. And they said, you're the only hope you got. So
He's
for
like
no
Princess
good
Leia.
reason, he was there.
Oh, there's Obi-Wan. Sorry, I fucked that up. I fucked up my own joke.
Well, Leia did say it, so I get
Yeah.
So, but they're telling him, this is their shot here. You got the gun, shoot, go out there. You know what I mean? These Japanese guys. So now, because he's sitting there, this dumbass doesn't do anything. Now he ends up getting out of the plane and he's running away. And then Godzilla comes and he flips the plane up, maybe with his tail or whatever. And the guy's running away. I'm like, okay, this is going to be funny. The plane's going to land on the guy dies. That's their opening scene. Well, the plane goes up in the air, this and this, and it lands, and it does not land on the guy. And then you see the guy over here laying, and I text the fucking guys in Jay's group in our text, and I said, if this guy is the lead for this movie, I want to turn this movie off right now because I fucking want him to die in the first minute of the film. So I have a problem with this. Then guess what? He ends up being the lead of the fucking movie.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
the movie, yeah, dude, the movie progresses on, and this woman hands him a baby when he goes back to. Long story short, he ends up getting involved with this baby that was orphaned and this woman that was given the baby. So it turns out some time goes by. I don't know how many years. Let's say at least 3 years. And the guy ends up, he lets them come in his shack, his house, right? So it's him and the woman and the baby, like a real family. Okay? So and they don't get deep into it. Are they making love? Are they a couple? I don't know, but they're living together. They seem to respect each other, and they seem to be raising this child as a family. Now he has another job where he's actually destroying these what do you call it? Bombs that are in the water because they were like landmines.
Oh,
But
yeah,
they were
yeah.
water mines that was dropped in the war, so they have to deactivate them so they don't get blown up. So his job is to go out there, and they find out that he's a good shot, so he's able to fucking blast him. So he has this new
Except
job.
when it's
He
needed.
invites his right. Yeah, no shit. So he invites his work friends over for this dinner, and they come over there, and as I'm watching the movie, no shit, I'm watching it before this stuff happened. I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of nice. They're gonna raise this boy on their own. There's no need ever to tell him that we're not your real mommy and daddy. They're just gonna have this nice little family and do their thing. Well, he goes home for dinner. He has these guys over, and the fucking kid says something to him, and he goes, how many times do I have to tell you I'm not your father? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What is the reason to break this little boy's heart? What the fuck? I'm already pissed off at this guy. And then he says that on top of it. How is this supposed to be? And I understand, yeah, Dave, characters have arcs. And I know what's going to happen. He's going to overcome his fear, blah, 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 be a good daddy. Fucking script writing 101. There's your arc. Fine. And everybody fell fucking hook, line, and sinker and loved it. I don't know why I'm the jerk off because I'm going to be the only one that is that just like what the Hitcher, same thing happened where I had no remorse for the fucking guy. But at
Yeah.
least I had no remorse because he was stupid and he did some things wrong. Just like the kid in the beginning of 28 weeks later caused all this havoc and didn't need to. And I didn't like him either. But both paled in comparison to this guy who all he had to do was fucking at least attempt to shoot Godzilla while he was in his plane and for no good reason sat there and didn't do it. And this is supposed to be the guy I'm supposed to root for. I'm sorry. I'm going to finish the movie. There are good things about it, but there is no way I could love this movie the way other people seem to look because I do not like the lead character. I got to tell you that. So there's
So
that.
right now you're like, where are you hovering?
Well, no, dude, I'm only 40 minutes in it. And
Oh, okay.
Godzilla, this is my notes. Water looks great. Please kill this guy. Why did she give him the baby? He can regenerate? Question mark. Great scene with attack on boat. And that's where it ends. So
Yeah.
I'm very fucking into it. I'm very early on in the movie. But still, I'm never going to get over this asshole. I can't pull for him as a lead. Why do you want that to be your lead? But anyway.
Well, I got you. I just realized that a couple of mine are ones that we've talked about numerous times on the show. You've brought them up recently. So I'm going to shoot through two of them really quick and then you can go into your next one. So
Okay.
I watched Fatal Games because you just watched it and it was on
Hey,
Shudder, so I
nice.
watched it again. I like it. I don't blow it like everybody else does because I think it
You
was
think people blow it?
well, I think it just was a lesser seen one. And whenever there's a lesser seen slasher, I feel like it gets put onto a pedestal a little bit more. So I maybe blowing is a little bit, maybe just a tip. Maybe someone licks the shaft and maybe tickles
Well,
the
it
balls. But I
finally got
don't- yeah.
it finally got a release. But I've been waiting for this release for fucking 10 years because of how much I enjoy it. Okay, not how much, because I enjoy the movie.
I'm
That's
not
all
saying you,
I've wanted to have a
Brandon, I think
release.
when we did the first 50 slasher show had it on his list too. And I'm like, that's fine. That's fine because the comparisons are quite valid to Graduation Day in the sense of like the look, the javelin factor and whatever, although
I
Graduation
prefer
Day is
this.
more. You prefer this. I prefer Graduation Day by far.
You would think, wow, really? Okay.
This is slow, man. But the killings are all very similar to one another, and then it's very slow. How many people decide to go train in that fucking school in the middle of the night and then get slowly stalked by a killer or whatever it may be? Then there's like name calling. People keep showing up and going. I was like, just get on with it. But I like it. I like it. It's like a 6.5. Again, I know when I say sixes, I can hate a movie or like it. I'm going to try to start being a little bit more selective there. I'd say maybe 6.5. Like, I don't think I'll watch it again though. So maybe it is a
Okay.
6,
Fair enough.
a 6. But
Fair.
so that's it for Fatal Games. And then The Mutilator. The Mutilator, again, can't argue with it. It's dumb fun. The quirky, crappy acting is what makes it kind of gives it its charm. That stupid hide and seek when you can clearly see everything and anything in the fucking frame. But this is the one that you're here for the kills, and it delivers
Yeah.
like like above most slashers when it comes to the kill factor. At first, it starts a little slow. You're like, wait, what's going on here? But then it instantly, you get like chainsaw kill that's really gory. You get that machete through the face. You get that hook up through them. Like it's unrelentless. So I've definitely grown to like this one a bit more. I think I always kind of hovered it in that same like range that I had Fatal Games, but I'd say it's a mild half head explosion. Sorry, not a mild rumble.
Oh, I
Half
was
head
gonna
explosion.
say, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Mutilator. Fuck.
that's it.
Okay.
Go ahead, because
Oh,
those ones you
no,
kind of I
okay.
think just watched recently, and I hadn't watched them yet for this round of the slasher show.
I guess for now I'll skip the 2024 one and we'll see how this turns out. And I'll talk about my last two slashers because an interesting thing did actually happen with I watched one slasher and it made me want to watch another one. It reminded me of another one that I forgot. First of all, the first one here is from I believe 2016 and I haven't seen it since that year. And I remember I rated it highly that year, but I haven't gone back to it. And I finally went back to it, and that's called The Windmill Massacre, aka The Windmill.
Oh,
Have
yeah, I
you seen
remember
this
that
recently?
one. Yeah, not recently. When we watched
Okay.
it back in the year, could you recommended it or someone else recommended it, and we all kind of enjoyed it.
Well, it's kind of a supernatural slasher, right? It's pretty interesting, but it is a slasher. So we kind of get introduced to many characters one by one. Yeah, there's this pretty Aussie girl, and there's this a father and a son. It takes place in Germany too. There's a photographer. There's this young Asian guy who apparently is a grandson. He talks to his grandmother about going to this trip. Some other guy's partying with his friends, and then some other guy. Who's the other guy? He is a oh, what was his job? Was he a photographer? Either way, we're slowly introduced to these different characters. We spent a little more time in the beginning with the Australian girl, and she ends up being the final girl. So, but they have one common denominator, and it's like something about windmills in each scene takes place with something or something else. But there's a lot of windmill talking. So anyway, they end up going on this tour, Happy Holland tours. And as it's going on, we find out that each one of them kind of has bad memories. And we're kind of like seeing what they're thinking about. And then they have car troubles. And next thing you know, they have to go and their tour bus dies. And then whatever. And they have to try to see what they can do, but they're kind of in the middle of nowhere. And there's this big windmill that isn't on any map, and they go out there, and we get a first kill, which is pretty damn good. We get some local folklore as to something that may have happened with a deal made with the devil in the day with some guy that owned a windmill, and he wanted better business because he was with grain or something like that, and all he had to do was bring people to sacrifice or something like that for riches and whatnot. And we get some of that. And I'm a sucker usually for some mythology, which is cool, and some witchcraft talking. Um, and then we just get some good kills throughout, and the look of the killer is cool. Um, I like his look, but I don't want to give anything away. But there's a couple good reveals. There's a sad reveal, but there are these. You see what you want to see in a slasher. You see people getting bumped off one by one in cool or creative ways, or having it look good. This is what you want in your slasher. This is what we got. Um, Sure, it could have been better, but I really
You say
enjoyed
about
it. I
everything.
enjoyed the way,
Yeah.
yeah, I enjoyed the way they wrapped it up. But I honestly feel I look at the ratings and I seem to enjoy this one more than just about everybody else when I look at on my Letterboxd. And I'm like, interesting. Not that people are shitting on, a few people did, but most people have it a little lower than I do. And I gotta say, watch this one. I definitely think you'll appreciate it. And I don't want to say even too much about it, but definitely check it. This
I've
is
seen I
a
watched it
half
back in
head.
the day. I
Okay,
just haven't
I did
it's
too,
yeah.
but
Is
I,
it
I
the
forgot about it.
you said a half head explosion? Sorry, I cut you off there. You're about to
It's a
say it,
half
and
head
I
explosion. Yeah,
is it
absolutely. But I'm
has the
telling you, it's
fiery
solid.
climax? Am I remember that right? Is it
Yes, and
yeah.
there's an opening with fire. There's a trailer burning down, and we get a reveal there. And later on, what happens with that? And there's good stuff. There's just enough character stuff for just about everybody in it. Just enough that you need. You get the background about the characters and what they may have done and why they all together. Why, what's going on? Have they done something terrible in the past? Are they being summoned here? What's going on? At one point, I think the tagline is "This isn't hell; it's Holland" or something like that. And there's talk about us being at the foot of hell. But while it is demonic and witchcraft stuff happening, the killer itself manifests itself as this thing, and he does slasher kills. So it is absolutely a supernatural slasher, and it's done right. I
Nice.
really think, again, I rated it high. I rated it the same rating that I gave it back in 2016, but I never thought to revisit. 2016 was just a damn great year, and I just haven't thought about the movie since. But watching it now, the second time around, I just enjoyed it more, and I just I really dig it. So check out the Windmill Massacre. So there's that one.
Awesome.
So am I doing my other one now?
Well, I'll do one and then you do another one, I guess.
You're
How
gonna
many
do
do you have?
yours.
You have
Okay.
okay. Well, this one I'm going to do this one because I don't think you've seen this. I've watched this one. This is my third time seeing it, but it's been very like way back when. You're the Slasher and You're the Slasher Part 2, and it's Frightmare from '83. And it's you haven't seen this one, right?
No. There's a
So
reason why. I can't remember why, but I haven't.
okay, I'm not sure because I think the cover of it looks great, and I think the premise of it is cool. It's supernatural as well. Yeah, there's a little silliness in it, but the production value is decent, and it's got a fair amount of atmosphere, so I think that helps. And there's a couple of good gory kills. So I mean, it's got all the right elements. I think you should check it out. I mean, it's a Vincent
Okay.
Price-like character. Now, it's not Vincent Price because Vincent Price, I believe, was well loved. This guy seems to be a little bit more hated, but he's an iconic horror character. Um, and he dies. And ultimately, it's about what happens in this horror society that lives in this ancient house and how they respond to his death and whatnot. And then they start getting knocked off one by one. But it has a supernatural edge to it.
Sweet.
It's a little weird. There's some weirdisms, like I've mentioned already, but there's enough gore and killings. And Jeffrey Combs is in it, and enough atmosphere.
Oh,
I think
sold.
that's where I think the movie kind of is above some of the other ones of this time frame that you haven't heard of or that you may have not checked out, is that there's atmosphere here. And I think that's what made me want to go back and check it out the other times. It's not great,
Okay.
but I liked it. It's a mild
I'm
rumble.
adding it.
It's a mild rumble,
Okay. It's a
but I
mild
would
rumble.
watch it again.
Okay.
I
Fair
would
enough.
watch it again.
Okay. No, I can dig that. Nice. Nice. I'll check it. I'll check it. So this is what's weird. By the way, you said production values. I forgot to mention that about Windmill Massacre. It looks really good, and the colors actually pop. It's a good looking movie. Granted, a lot of it takes place at night, but the first half of the daytime and all just looks really good. It's just got good production values as well. So that's another
Awesome.
reason to watch it. So this made me think about a movie that I forgot to add to the list, and I haven't thought about in a while. This movie here, I've always considered it kind of a hidden gem, and I talked about it on ABC's A Hidden Horror on our B episode, and I'm pretty sure we've spoken about it before, but it's Boogeyman 2. Have you seen Boogeyman 2?
Yeah, but way back when, because isn't it kind of like one of those ones that reuses a lot of footage from the first one?
No, nothing
I
like
thought it
that.
did. I thought uh, it reiterated or reused footage from Boogeyman. No?
Are you thinking about? Or maybe you're thinking about the wrong Boogeyman. I'm talking about the one that came out in 2007,
Oh,
not the one from
no.
1980. The Boogeyman,
Yes. Yes. I'm thinking of
Uli
the one from
Lomelao,
1980.
whatever his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. 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 No.
Okay.
Boogeyman 2 from
Well,
2007.
well, hold on. Do you remember the first Boogeyman that came out to the theater? It was like a ghost house picture. It was in
Yes.
2005.
They did a sequel
Okay,
to it?
it flopped.
Yeah.
PG-13.
Yeah.
Well, it's a sequel in name only. It's Boogeyman 2. It came out in 2007. I'll just read the synopsis here. Okay. A young woman with a long-term phobia of the boogeyman voluntarily checks herself into a mental health facility with hope of conquering her overwhelming fear. However, much to her horror, she discovers that some things are terrifying on purpose, and confronting her demons was not the best course of action. So you haven't seen this.
No.
Okay. A good way to say this is to compare it to, but I don't want to insult it because I enjoy it, and I've always enjoyed it. It's almost like a poor man's Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. And I'm just going to tell you this. It's set in a fucking place. They even have like a group chat. It's almost like fucking Straight Talk.
Straight Talk only.
There's a very similar
Sorry,
type
Vince.
thing. So it starts off, there's a flashback with the kids. And in the kids, we see a good kill. They're young. They're an 8-year-old and a maybe 11-year-old, I think. And the boy's 11, the girl's like 8. And then we see the kid's afraid, and then we see the father actually get killed by somebody comes in the house, kills the father, and then kills the mother. A person comes in there dressed up in the thing, and they've never been able to find out who this person is. So now, they thought it was the boogeyman, but they do know that he came in and killed. So it's like, okay, so they got that going on. So they've been tormented all this time. So after we get that open, it's 10 years later. She's now 18 years old, and her brother's being discharged after 3 months in this place where he's been talking about the stuff. And now it's her turn because he may be moving away to get a job and to do this. And they have supported each other this whole time. So now she's like, I don't think I can do this without you. I've always been so strong and been the stronger one of the two of us and everything, or it's appeared that way. It's because we were always together. If you leave me on my own, I'm going to probably start getting afraid again. So he says, well, this has helped me out. Go into this clinic and check yourself in. And then I'll feel comfortable if I end up getting the job, and I can move away from you, and hopefully you'll feel better like I am. So now she goes in, and now we start getting flashbacks that she's having. Now Tobin Bell is in this as the hospital administrator. So he almost plays the role of like the bitchy woman, not Zeke. No, like the bitchy woman in fucking Nightmare on Elm Street 3, right? And then there's another girl who runs the group therapy.
Isn't that Carrie or Carrie's friend's mom? In Carrie? Isn't that the same actress?
Oh, yeah, you're right. That is.
Yeah.
Yes, Sue Snell's mom. You're right. Good call. So he almost plays the role, but he's the administrator, so not really. But he has that. He is trying to, get things done, and he has a very hard-nosed approach to people conquering their fear. Everybody that's in this place is in there because they have an overwhelming fear. It's all about fear. It isn't so much we fear a Freddy, a demon coming to kill us at night. They have different fears. She fears the boogeyman like her brother did. Now she's in there. So this other woman runs the group therapy, and she is this other, and she basically plays like the guy that looks like Bill Maher in Nightmare on Elm Street 3. So she's down with the kids that are in there and everything else. And this is kind of a newer approach they're doing things. So we start getting some kills shortly after she gets there. We get a good elevator kill. We get stuff involving roaches and swallowing stuff. Then we get a power outage, and these kids are trapped in the fucking place, and trapped in the place where they can't make phone calls out, or people can't come in and out. So they got to stay there for the night. But people are all of a sudden dropping, and it's things that they're afraid of. So we get we get something in maggots. It's almost like a hellbound type thing with the maggots on the person, and everybody has different things. You have a germaphobe, you have a fucking somebody who's afraid. You think she's bulimic, but she's afraid of gaining weight. It's a different thing. Everybody has a different fear. One guy
Wow.
doesn't want to leave the house, kind of like me. He's
Why did they make this a
agoraphobia.
Boogeyman 2? Or why did they call it Boogeyman 2? I mean, I guess because of the
Because
Boogeyman, but
I hear you.
still,
Yeah.
they've changed it. Like the
I hear
movie
you.
was a flop. Why would you want to capitalize on that? I guess they've done it so many times in the past that they're just trying to use a name and try to
Or
roll it off on that. But
maybe Boogeyman made money. It was a PG-13 horror film that came out. Maybe it had a big opening weekend and the execs saw it and say, this is a good movie. When critically it was panned and the fans didn't like it, maybe it made money at the time. Who knows? So
yeah,
now
look it
they
up.
come in. The killer has a great weapon and a good method of killing. There's a couple good kills here. The practicals are good. Now there's 24 minutes left and there's a final girl. And I'm like, what's going to happen here? And then a couple of things happen. We get a nut. Remember, just last show I was talking about how we saw the best hedge clipper scene since fucking The Burning. Well, the one we saw in what do you call? What was the movie I talked about last time? Sweatshop. There is
Yeah.
another one just as good as that one in this movie. So how weird is that? Another excellent fucking hedge clipper scene. Now I will say this: I don't love the mask of the killer, especially when they actually at one point show a better one. Like the way they envision the boogeyman, the kids, he has kind of a, I don't want to say rubbery face, but it's the kind of same mask, but it's more of a rubber mask. This guy, his mask is, it almost looks like Chrome Skull in a way. It's kind of like a golden thing. It's a skull, but I just wish they wouldn't use that as the mask. It's my one small complaint. But it ends up having a real good ending, and throughout it keeps you guessing. Kind of the second, because I've seen the movie before, was coming back to me, and being, seeing a lot of horror movies, I was like, okay, maybe this is what's going to happen. But they do steer it in a couple directions where you're trying to figure out what's going to be what. But I'm going to tell you again, this is one you have to see. It's another half head explosion, and I'm glad I got reminded. That's the funny thing, is that I got reminded by Windmill Massacre of another supernatural slasher. This is not even a supernatural slasher, but in my mind it was. It's a regular slasher that plays with a couple different elements.
I'm very intrigued. I know I've saw the first one and it was a huge hit.
You'll
so
enjoy
the budget was 20 million.
See?
It made almost that in the opening weekend in Canada and US. And then the worldwide gross was 67 million. So by over tripling the budget, it was a hit, which is why you have Boogeyman 2. But I'm very intrigued to check it out. But Boogeyman is not a slasher with the original one, right?
No, it's not.
No, I don't remember it being that. So okay, cool. It's on my list.
Yeah.
In the just looking at the time, I'll talk about one more. Do you have one more?
Okay. I could talk about one more. Yeah.
Okay, I'll cross this one out. I'm only gonna talk about this one because how much you dislike it. And I'm so perplexed as to why. Well, I'm not so perplexed because it's not a perfect film by any means, but it's The Final Terror from '83 as well.
Mm, okay.
There is something that intrigues me about this movie, the way it looks, the atmosphere, the I mean, although the elements were lost, what we've got to witness, whether it be free on Tubi, whether it be on, it might even be on Shutter, but it's free on Tubi. Whether you buy the Scream Factory Blu-ray, it will say, this film has been created by different elements and whatnot because they were lost. It looks good. It looks like film. It takes me back to that time. It takes place in the forest or like in a deep forest. I like all the characters. I like the acting. I like the directing. The director actually went on to do big Hollywood movies as well. And it's not even a long film. So I like it. The biggest knock against it is there's very little slashing to be had during the movie. But what we get, it's effective. And it's gory. I like how they fight back. There's way too many survivors. But so I guess they're trying to be something different. And in doing that, I respect it for it and I like it, but I would have liked a little bit more slice and dice and in the more traditional. But I have nothing against it. I really like it. I'm just perplexed as to why you dislike it so much.
Well, I only saw it one time, and it was for the first year of the slasher, and it bored me to tears. It was just slow and boring to me. That's the best answer I got. It's been years,
and I
but
can't.
That's my takeaway.
That's your takeaway, and I can't argue that because I have the same problem with certain movies. For whatever reason, I do not get that feeling for this. It's the same thing with the other one I was going to talk about, which is Curtains, and that's all I'll say. I watched Curtains again, and I do not get that. I like both of these movies. Like these both could show up on my list. They're not high on the list,
Nice.
but they both could show up on the
Right.
list. They're both half heads, and I really enjoy my time with them. Both are messy, but I appreciate them for what they are.
Nice. And as far as Curtains goes, I'm hoping that this time watching it, it comes up just like Just Before Dawn. Those movies that have always a lot of people have
Yeah.
always liked. That to me, I've always just thought were mediocre. So I hope that Curtains comes up. I really wanted to. Last time there was too much dialogue and it was just kind of boring to me. Maybe this time it won't be. It's hard to say. So
I
I'm
don't know.
hoping they do, but
It is dialogue heavy, but I
know.
mean, I like that, and I like The Final Terror. And it's funny because I was messaging Gary Miller because I know he likes Woods movies. So I'm like, you like The Final Terror, right? And he's like, yeah, of course. Because I think it rated about a 7 is what he said. He says, if a movie takes place in the woods, it starts at a 5. It can only go up from there typically. That's why he loves the fucking Prey. I don't know. He loves the Prey. Like that's that's why, like, I mean, like, Gary, you're crazy. I mean, we all know it.
Hey, whatever.
But yeah, to each their own, right?
Yeah,
But this movie it's got a unique look, a great feeling for me. I just like the atmosphere for it. It's, yeah, like I said, it could definitely use a few more kills, no question. But I enjoyed my time with it.
Fair enough. Nice. No, that's good. I'm glad you did. I don't know if I can watch it again because I rated it so low. It isn't like I gave it a 6. I think I gave it like a 3 or something, it was like one of the lowest rated slashers I watched.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I can't. Yeah, it's just so shocking. But I mean, this is how we all differ a little bit. But
yeah, I don't think it's possible that I could jump up 3 or 4 points. I just at any movie that I've rated low, you know what I mean, or high. I watch a movie, I give it a 7. Next time I watch it, I'm going to give it a 3. I just can't. That's why anything I gave below a 6 last time, I'm not watching again. But anything I just gave a 6, I'm watching for Year of the Slasher too.
Like Blood Frenzy's in that zone. The Forest is definitely in that zone, even lower.
Garbage.
Those movies are fucking garbage. The Prey is in that zone.
Right.
Like for me, this is definitely above that. There's more talent.
Interesting.
There's definitely more talent in front and behind the camera for sure.
I don't know. I'll see what I gave it last time. I think it's pretty low. Maybe I could have been having a bad day, but I just remember being very bored. Anyway, I'm going to try to go through this one quickly. There's a lot to say, which is the problem, but I guess I can kind of do it quick. It's called Kill Your Lover. This is my kind of movie, 2024. This is my kind of movie. It's primarily with 2 people. It's a relationship horror movie. It's body horror plus. It's A guy comes home, he's sick, he has some things going on, he gets home from work, he's throwing up, and then we learn more about their relationship as it goes on. And this girl's friend wants her broken up, and before the friend gets there, but pardon me, before the boyfriend gets home from work early because he's sick, they're talking, and she goes, "Well, you should have a hit of a joint." She's like, "No, I can't do it, this and that." And then she hits the joint, and then they talk a little bit, and then she's like, "Yeah." And at the beginning, she's rehearsing that she's going to try to break up with them. They've been in this relationship for years, but it seems like it's getting toxic, and they're fighting a lot all the time. And then she is getting close, and her friend basically has her convinced, "Okay, come on, you could do it. Let me know when." She goes, "Well, I won't do it right now." Anyway, so she finally thinks she's going to be able to do it. Then we get a lot of very good flashbacks, and we kind of learn about their relationship and how they began and how they met, and basically what's happened between the two of them. And he starts getting all burned up, and he's puking, and he has these burns on his skin and everything else. And I won't get too deep into it because I don't want this to be too long, because I took a whole lot of notes for a feature review, and because we were going to do it on Jace. So basically the guy is very, as we learn more about this thing, he has kind of he's controlling in a passive aggressive type of way. And we learn how he does it from the start, and this and that and the other thing. What I like about it is that eventually she admits her faults too, which is good. So that's not just you, it's me. And you just see all the stuff going back and forth. And at one time, paramedics come because he insists he doesn't want to go to the hospital. But it's so weird because all the stuff is spreading. He has all these black veins coming off his body. And at one point, he gets in the tub, and the veins end up on the tile on the tub. It's pretty interesting body horror type stuff. But and if he touches anybody, if he grabs her arms or whatever, there'll be burn marks on her arms. You know what I mean? And it's the whole thing is about your germs are my germs. And it's saying, it's actually quite smart, because I take from it is it's very allegorical. And it's, there's this Fiona Apple song, and the lyrics go, "Evil is a relay sport when the one who's burned turns to pass the torch." Basically saying, if you've had your trauma in your life and it's made you evil and it's turned you into your shit, and then you turn it off and you pass it on to the next person that you get close with, it goes on and on. You know what I mean? It's relationship horror, but it's done really well. This was the movie where at one point I had to see it. I said I had to check to see if a woman directed it, and she did. And I was like, well, I had to check if a woman directed it. Yeah. Would she have behaved in this? Would she behave this way? I say yes, given the circumstances. And they flash back to old arguments in the same room and everything. And I don't want to say more because I don't want to go on and on, but it's pretty damn cool. It's a half head explosion, and I enjoyed it.
It's this year. It's not a slasher, but it's a 2024.
Not a slasher at all. It's a 2024. I thought I would talk about it and highlight it and check it out. So there you go.
Well, now we're going to go into our feature review. Like, we're only going to do one because we have it. Like, we're still good to do this.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I should have gotten this while you're doing the last one. Of course, I
no worries, man.
All right, Strangers, Chapter 1, 2024. After the car breaks down in an eerie small town, a young couple is forced to spend the night in a remote cabin. Panic ensues as they are terrorized by three masked strangers who strike with no mercy and seemingly no motive. Of course, directed by Rennie Harlin. I seem to be on a kick watching a lot of his movies. I'm a little perplexed as to what people are fucking complaining about. The movie's called The Strangers. You get a Strangers movie.
Agreed.
I enjoyed it. Well,
here's the thing.
I didn't love it. It wasn't fantastic. But if you're looking for it to change direction, no. Maybe 2 and 3 do. Maybe they don't. But this one is like a standalone. It's not a remake. I've heard some people say it was a redo of part one.
Well,
I
I
mean,
believe it is now.
you think that's what they're doing?
Well, that's
They're
what I think
rebooting
people
it?
are yes. I don't
Okay.
think that the second one's going to be Prey at Night. I think they're going in a different direction with all three of them. They're going to be more like this one and more like the original. It's almost like they said, I like the concept of the original. I want to explore that more than taking it the Prey at Night route. Let's expand more on the story because you see when this one ends, which I was a little bit upset at first, but now I guess I'm indifferent because of where it ended and what might be coming in the next film. If that's the
Yes.
case, all right. But I mean, I think that people were expecting a different type of thing, and they're going in and they're seeing not almost identical, but very familiar strangers movie like the first one, like it's a reboot of the original. The only difference is, they weren't arguing. There wasn't a mirror, a proposal, and a refusal, and the couple was getting along. But it was just the two of them going there, and everything. A lot of the things that happened in the first movie happened here, with the stalking done the same way, with the accidental kill happening again like it happened in the first one, like the final sequence,
Well,
the
that's no different
dialogue,
than
and like the ending.
it's all for you, Damien. It's a callback. That's the Easter egg. That's like here's some of the similarities. Now, maybe it was too on the nose for people. I liked it. I had no problem with it. I thought that the setup was different enough. The characters were different enough. They were likable. He was questionably likable because you could see, well, small town folk probably think this guy's a bit of a jerk and whatever. But he cared about his girlfriend. Like he was like, making sure that
She
she got
was
her
great.
vegetation things. She was great. She's more of the focus.
Yes.
I mean, he
Yeah.
leaves to go get her. She gets terrorized. The lighting and the production value of this movie is great for the backlit stuff. Everything's great. Like there's, it's. I thought it was enjoyable, and maybe a rinse and
Me too.
repeat. Maybe it's because I didn't watch The Strangers right before I watched this one. Um, I'm right now. I have three Strangers movies, and I've enjoyed all three of them. It's
Me too.
I mean, eh, we're not talking about anything like it isn't groundbreaking. So if you're expecting groundbreaking, then you are going to be very disappointed. But if you're expecting something in the vein of the first movie, that's exactly what you get right now with this one, no question. But I
I
guess it
agree
was
with
just
this.
too on the nose or too similar for people. I guess that's just the problem. Which I yeah, it was familiar, but I didn't feel like it was this too much of the same. It's similar, but not the same. But it's a fucking Strangers movie, a sequel. Like, what more different can they do? I like the
I mean,
Moonlight
that
Sonata stuff, the piano stuff. Sorry, man, I keep going on.
yep. No, that's fine. No, I did like the Moonlight Sonata stuff and what they did there. I like everything they did with the music. I um I thought it was cool. The mirror shot I thought was awesome while she was playing the piano. At first I thought it was a picture. I'm like, wait, there's a picture of one of the strangers in her house. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, wait a minute. That was fucking badass. I was about to type something when he was eating the burger and there was the drops from the thing. And I was literally about to, this is what I wrote. I was about to type, that's coming back with blood. And boom, it happened before I even got a chance to finish the fucking sentence. It came back right away because I knew that was going to happen. I enjoy the fact that the guy had an axe. I don't recall them
yeah.
having an axe before, so that was cool. The Knights in White Satin scene was done really well. There was some suspense.
I thought he had
I
an
love
axe in
the
the
stuff
first
in the
movie.
background. Maybe
Yeah,
they
an axe.
did. Can't
Yeah,
remember. Okay, he had an
yeah,
axe. Are you serious?
yeah. I think he's
Wow.
holding it in the
Okay,
cover, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Actually,
maybe
but
you're right.
I
But did
mean,
he use it?
again, if I thought he cut through the door for, I could be wrong. I'm going by memory, but
Okay.
once again, if these killers have a set MO and it's been working for them, and that's what they like to do, they like to play with their victims and terrorize them. They're not going to change things up too drastically because it's like what works, but let's see how this person reacts to it or whatever. I mean, I felt no problems with it, but I'm also a sucker for sleek and slick looking, and it definitely that's where it shined, like from sound production,
Yeah.
from the look of it, like it just was like top notch. And so I might lean and maybe give too many bonus points towards that factor of it as well. But it doesn't hurt when you've got that slick look as well. So Yep, I was on board. I mean, this is kind of weird because I don't really think I have a lot to talk about it. I just enjoyed it. Didn't love it. Like I know I'm sound like I'm gushing over it, but I enjoyed it. And I think this is my thing. Kind of like I think I like being anchored with people saying, I didn't like this, I didn't like this, I didn't like this, I didn't like this. And I go in and I'm like, I try not to let that affect me, but you go in, you're like, okay, well, let's see what we get here. And I'm like, always like every next scene, I'm like questioning what are people talking about? I'm like, maybe the acting's off, or maybe it's like, done on the cheap. None of that. It was just too similar. I guess it was just too rinse and repeat.
I think the same thing. That must be it. That must be it. But it didn't bother me either.
Well, we're
I mean, I
Friday the
don't like it
13th
as much as the.
fans. Like,
Fair
you
enough.
know what I mean? Like,
I will say that I prefer the other two a little bit. I think I rate them a little bit higher.
same,
But
same,
yeah, but
for sure.
just like you, then I'm 3 for 3 in this franchise. I enjoy them all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a half head. This is a half head, which I was
Yes.
a full head for the other two. And
Yes, me too. I'm
I'm
with
a
you.
huge, yeah. I mean, so I'm trying to be realistic here, but this was not a disgrace. But I guess people just wanted more, and well, it's a fucking trilogy. You're gonna get more. Big old to be continued sign at the end, and we know based from the title,
Yeah.
chapter 1, we know what we're getting. But no, I was happy. I was happy with what I got. I was not disappointed at all.
Me too. Me too. No, I definitely liked it. I did you notice that the cool jump scare? It was like it was the Friday 2 jump scare with Jason in the window, not the end shot. I'm talking
Yes.
about when she was backing up from
Yep.
the other. That was great. One
That
thing
was
I
really
didn't
good.
like, which didn't make a lot of sense, there were some good jumps, especially that one. One thing I didn't like was the why did that bike suddenly burst into flames at that moment for no reason? Like they run out, you think you're gonna get away, right? And it's like,
You-
okay, I can hop on the bike and escape. I know what you're gonna say, but hold
Yeah.
on. Because the reveal is that the guy, the main guy is holding gasoline. But he was 20 yards away from that. Okay. And they run outside to jump on the bike. And as soon as they go out and they take a few steps closer to the bike, the fucking thing engulfed in flame just like that in front of them. How does that happen? That was my
Well,
knock right
yeah,
there.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if they try to shoot it, even though again, I don't know if that would have done it, but they'll shoot the gasoline and it blows up. I'm trying to remember if there was a gunshot or if just someone lit
No,
it and we just didn't know. But
it didn't make sense to me. That was
yeah,
my biggest complaint. But that's fine. There was some other good jumps. The decomposed body part was cool when she's laying
good
down
scene.
and that
Yeah.
suspense going. Yeah. And the size of that one knife, I don't think I've ever seen a chef's knife that big, a butcher knife.
That's that's
The
what
one girl was holding. It was awesome.
I want to double down on what you said there. We haven't gotten stalking scenes like through the forest and whatever this well done in a long time. I'm
That
talking
was
about
good
from
too.
production value. I'm talking about from suspense. I'm talking about from this was like, even though this was a home invasion and not a slasher like Prey at Night was, you can almost say this is a merging of the two because you get the opening kill where you don't get that in the original.
Right.
And then
True.
you get some more violence. So you can almost say that this is a home invasion slash slasher, which I guess you could say about any of them. But it just seemed that there was a couple more kills to give it get it into that slasher realm. And I'm telling you, like some of the best. I said that I'm like we haven't seen this like since old school slashers in a lot of cases, like a chase and just well done. Uh, Again, maybe I'm a little
Yeah.
hyperbole, but I mean, I said that while watching it, but I'm still half head. I try to keep my expectations in
Yeah,
check.
man.
Yeah,
No, I'm with you. And I like the score. I thought that
yeah.
was good too. Actually, I noticed it. And I'll say this. This is something that I thought was better than the original. Even though the scene was identical, like the same shot from the original. And all the stuff's going, and it's great. There is some really, really good um emotional shit going on when they're tied up together towards the end of that
Oh,
movie, where I really
yeah.
felt it. Even more than the first movie. I don't know why, but it worked for me in this movie with the two of them and the whole marriage thing and everything else and them and what they said. I don't want to even say anything to anyone who hasn't, even though we spoil. I would just rather if someone hasn't watched it, just watch it and the things they say and the things that are going on. It really worked for me. I said, you know what? I could see being in a situation like that and being heartfelt and knowing that this is probably your time and just everything. It just works so well. So I was really wanting them to go there this time, like they didn't in the first one, because it kind of looked like they were going to. But then something else happened. But that's what I'm saying. Because of the way it actually ended, the last shot, the very, very end, as we say, I'm not going to hate on it. But I was at one point hoping that they were going to go there and whatever. That accident scene was great. That whole thing with the truck scene when he was stuck in there and all that, that was well done stuff too. So there you go.
Yeah.
What else can we say?
Yeah, I know.
I'm surprised people didn't like it.
I am too. The only thing I can think of it was just too on the nose, and similar, and didn't tread enough new territory. But again, here you and I both a bit of a gusher. I'm coming over here. But yeah, again, half head, but I say check it out.
I gotta say, yeah, same here. I really think that you and I, for all of these 2024 movies, I think we've been in sync for every one this year. It seems this is weird.
Yeah, you'll never find
Doesn't
me.
it seem this way?
This one keeps getting shafted and pushed to. It keeps getting another show.
Yeah,
I'll just say another half head explosion for me for sure.
Me too. We are really. What have we disagreed on anything? Let's see. Kill Your Lover, The First Omen, The Coffee Table. Maybe I think I like The Coffee Table a little bit more than you. You'll Never Find Me, Baghead. We were about the same. Like I was like at a 7, whatever.
Yeah,
we didn't review it, but okay. Yeah. Sting we talked about. Abigail. I think was I higher on Abigail?
You're higher than Abigail. I'm a half head. I think it was a half head on that and Coffee Table. And I think you alluded to being a full head on both. Or maybe
I was close with Abigail.
Okay.
No, I was close. Founders Day and Departing Seniors, we were kind of both around the same. Infested, we both loved. Arcadian, I think we were both the same. Low Lifes, Stop Motion, Late Night with the Devil. Yeah, I mean,
I think I liked stop motion more than you, but not significant. Like just again, but
nothing like where one person has liked the movie and the other person hasn't. I don't think it's happened at all.
No,
very
not this
strange.
Year.
Yeah, it's for the first time ever. Our top 10s might be close. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll say this:
some surprises.
I watched Evil Dead Rise. For the first time since last year with my friends this past weekend, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed the hell out of it. I go down ever so slightly on my rating. I was like an 8.5. Now I'm more like an 8. And I can't tell you what's missing, but something is missing. And I don't know what. I can't tell you what my knock on the movie is. I loved my time with it. I think it's great. But there's just something about it, and I don't know what.
My quibble with it is that they don't take advantage of the apartment setting as much as you'd expect them to. I feel like, or the introduction of the neighbors seemed like a little forced to not give you the hit that it really needs. It's still great. I still really like it as well. But those are some of my quibbles when I watched it. I got to rewatch that one actually.
Right. But I got to say, the Evil Dead remake, I watched that not too long ago, and I think I enjoyed it more than ever.
I know.
So I think I kind of had them at the same rating, and it seems like the remake went up a half a point, and this one went down half a point. Still, they are all over an 8 for me, except Army of Darkness. But whatever, that's a completely different movie. So some people could understand why I wouldn't be into it. But as far as Evil Dead 1 and 2, and these last two, they're all an 8 and over. So I mean that's pretty solid.
I know it's a solid franchise, and I love Army of Darkness, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Right, a lot of people do. Right.
Well, we did it, man.
Anyway.
I mean, You'll Never Find Me got shafted again, but maybe we'll get to it one day.
Yeah, maybe we will. We'll see what happens, So I guess we'll be out then. We'll be back soon. What is this? What is it? June? This is the second show in June?
The second show in June, so we got one more.
Okay. we're still on pace. We're doing good. Okay. So, you got anything, any parting
No.
words? See?
Take care, everybody.
All right. He's cool. Yeah. Much love. Manchichi, Manchichi. See you next show. Thank you for everything. Peace.